Hey guys, I'm Sneha and you are watching my channel Book Junction. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is special because I'm going to talk about a really special book. I call this the ultimate self-improvement book, at least for me, because it has helped me a lot, and in this video I'm going to talk about how it can help you as well. So first, let's talk about the book. It's Zen, The Art of Simple Living. Drawing on centuries of wisdom, renowned Buddhist priest applies the essence of Zen to modern life in clear, practical, easy adopted lessons, one a day for 100 days. So from this book you're gonna get 100 lessons. You can either read one lesson per day, or you can binge read it as well, which I did honestly. And in this book you will learn 100 ways to bring yourself true happiness and calm. You will learn how to exhale deeply to eliminate negative emotions, to arrange your house simply to clear your thinking, to line up your shoes at night to bring order to your mind, to plant a single flower and watch it grow, to worry less about what you cannot control, and of course, so much more. There are obviously so many lessons in this book, and it's not always possible to follow each one of them because of the cultural differences and lifestyle differences. But it's the essence of all these lessons, it's the essence behind the lessons that one should carry with themselves and in their life. For example, there is this lesson where the monk or the priest talks about how Japanese people follow this tradition where they line their shoes properly outside their house, and it's like a tradition, and just by seeing at the way the shoes are kept they can understand the mindset of the people in the house and the environment and in the house. In the book, there is a chapter called Sit Zazen, the effects of sitting and thinking. So, according to the chapter, humans are not capable of deep reflection while we are moving. So, in Zen training, Zazen is of the utmost importance. You cannot talk about Zen without Zazen, and we start with Zazen and we finish with Zazen. That is the practice of Zen. The word Zen derives from the Sanskrit word dhyana, which means quiet contemplation. The act of thinking derives from the concept of sitting quietly. Humans are not capable of thinking while we are moving. We have only one mind, and when our mind is focused on movement, it is difficult for us to engage in profound thought. Even if you try thinking while you are walking, it will always end up being about something practical, such as work arrangements or what to cook for dinner. Deep contemplation about absolute truth in the world or the meaning of life is not something that can be accomplished while in motion. For Zazen, first we assume the correct posture, next we focus on our breathing, and finally we steady our mind. Once we arrange all three of these things, then we begin the practice of Zazen. Try sitting zazen, empty your mind, and allow your thoughts to float up and then drift away. In the next chapter, the author writes about standing practice, which is a Zen style method to make use of your commuting time. So, if you would like to boost your motivation, the author encourages us to try a standing practice. So, we can do this even while holding on to the strap in a train carriage. As we stand there, we should focus our awareness on the point below our navel, which is our tendon, and practice zazen. It's that simple. One of my favorite chapters is Discover Another You, which is about finding your inner protagonist. Your protagonist has boundless potential. Now, in order to live more freely or with more ease, Zen Buddhism teaches the importance of not labeling ourselves as this or that kind of person. Here, the author gives you an example. So, there is another you within yourself. This version of you is freer than the self you think you know and rich with potential. It is your essential self. Within yourself lives your true protagonist. In Zen terms, the word for protagonist is also translated as master. There is a famous story of a Zen monk who would address himself saying, "Hey, master," and his self would reply, "Yes." He would then ask, "Are you awake?" and his self would again reply, "Yes." He would continue this questioning in earnest. Each of us plays various roles in society. You may be an office worker, a mother, or a cook in a restaurant. These are without a doubt our various selves, but we each have another self, the true protagonist that lives within us. Do your best to awaken this other self. I think most of us have seen this trend of reels and shorts about being the main character of our lives. It's very important to be the protagonist and the main character of our life and to focus on ourselves, prioritizing ourselves. And this Buddhist approach to the same thing, where we need to think about the other self, which is our inner protagonist, is so much more meaningful and important. And I learned this from this book that has helped me a lot to keep myself grounded and to find self-worth in times when I feel like I really didn't have much of it. The next chapter is called Don't Be Troubled by Things That Have Not Yet Happened, where the author talks about how anxiety is intangible and we need to ask anxiety, where does it actually exist? So honestly, it's very easy to just read it out, and it's another different thing to practice it, because when we feel anxious we become paralyzed and it's a whole vibe. So but reading this chapter in itself is calming, is relaxing, and I think over the time, if we can practice each chapter from this book and reread this book again and again, then I feel we can definitely benefit from it. I got another great lesson from this book, which is about a way of thinking that will bring forth opportunity and fortune. So it is important to think of the work you are doing as an encounter. So if there's anything that differentiates the results we produce, it may be the mindset in which each of us faces whatever task is at hand. Whatever it is you are doing, be grateful for the opportunity. If you believe that a task is being forced upon you, then you will see the work as a burden and it will arouse negative feelings. It is the same in the practice of Zen. The moment you find yourself asking, why do I have to tidy the garden every morning is the moment your training becomes meaningless. Everything we do as human beings is precious. If we are to find meaning in what we do, we must first become our own protagonist in the work. You have the leading role in your work. If you approach work with this attitude, all work becomes meaningful and invaluable. And I think in our day to day life, we feel if our work is even meaningful or not. So, if you deal with something like that, this book is a gem. In this book, the author also talks about the importance of art, creating a Zen garden, and also calligraphy. Actually, I read about the importance of calligraphy from this book, and that inspired me to practice it. Now, I'm not really that great with calligraphy or lettering, but I enjoy it, and I do have some instruments like brush pens to practice it, and I keep doing that in my journal. Whenever I get time, I write something and I practice calligraphy. There is this particular font that I enjoy writing a lot, and you must have seen me write with that font, and I enjoy this. It's simple, it's easy, and probably I will show you how I write this font in a future short that will be helpful. But yes, this book taught me a lot about enjoying calligraphy and writing. So, these were just a few reasons that made me fall in love with the book Zen, The Art of Simple Living. I have talked about this book before, but I feel like I will keep talking about it in the future as well because of how much it has impacted me. And I highly recommend you to read this. It's the ultimate self improvement book. And if you enjoyed this video, then definitely like, share, and subscribe.